here we go. Part 5, I think. We're gonna do this. Oh, sorry, wrong tool. This little inside portion of the second row, which is only the second layer, which is only the one we need to do. We're gonna do padded satin stitch. So a lot of people struggle with satin stitch. There's a few tricks to satin stitch. First of all, do a split stitch outline, which is how we're going to start. Second, padded satin stitch is actually easier than satin stitch in a way, because the padding helps you with this smoothness. So the idea is, in a shape this small, I'm going to do only 2 layers of padding, the padding layer and the top layer. So the idea is, if you want to finish in a certain direction, your layers need to go in the opposite one. So I want to finish with vertical stitches, so my padding layer will be horizontal stitches. I'm going to use the Kreinik Mori, this very bright pink that I absolutely love, even if I don't like pink. This one is an exception. This number is 1057. It's a stranded silk. It is, somebody described it on my website as it's like stitching with butter, and that is so true. One of the things I do, in particularly with silk, but with most thread, is I use those little tiny wooden bobbins to put them on, because the cardboard bobbins just give a kink to the thread that I don't like. I will be putting those on the website in a few days for you to buy, because I buy them by tens of thousands, I think. And it's a great way. First, it's cute. That's what goes into all my kits. And so second, it's a great way to store them. I'm using the next trick for satin stitch is to use 1 strand of thread. I know there's a lot of trends at the moment to use all 6 strands. Personally, I found that messy. I don't like the look of it. So I'm only using 1 strand in most of what I do. Sometimes 2 strands, but not for satin stitch. So I've got a knot on my thread. I know this portion will be covered, so I'm not worried about doing my stopping stitch. And I'm starting with a split stitch. So first a small straight stitch, then I come up and split the thread. This gives me very much a firm continuous outline. Let me rethread that needle. I'm still using an embroidery size 10 needle. Every single time when I come up, I split the stitch. This is something I do as well for a long and short stitch. It gives you a nice crisp edge. I make them quite small. Here we go. I do a stopping stitch in the middle, which is what I tend to do between layers. Now I'm going to start the padding layers, which is going to go in that direction. I want it mainly at the top, not so much at the bottom. I'm starting in the middle. It's easier to set my angle if I've got a longer stitch. And this layer is inside, just inside the row of split stitch. So if you notice, I'm always coming up on the same side and coming down on the same side. This is essential to keep the tension of your satin stitch. Yes, if I was coming up here, down here, up here, down here, yes, it would say thread on the back, but your tension will be off and it shows on the top. For the layers, I'm not that worried, as this is the padding and it will be covered. I am not actually that worried as to what it looks like. And that's as far as I'm gonna go. Stopping stitch. Now I'm going to start from the middle again because it's easier to keep my angle. I'm going to start in the middle. This time I'm just on the outside of this split stitch outline. I'm using my thread to make sure I'm setting the correct angle, and then I go underneath, like almost underneath the purple. Here we go. Padded satin stitch. I make sure that I don't miss any stitches. I may be able to add one more here. Yeah. And one more here. This is where the mela comes in handy. Here we go. So there's a tiny bit of white showing here that I'm going to be cleaning up using a damp cotton bud. And that's it. So I'm going to repeat all around. And then we'll move on to the middle bit.